Hello and welcome back, everybody. An aging, increasingly wealthy society needs more and better healthcare services. Where better to apply this thematic investment concept than in Asia? Today, we talk to Oliver Kubli, Portfolio Manager Healthcare Asia and Emerging Markets from Bellevue Asset Management about trends and investments in the Asian healthcare market. A warm welcome, Oliver.
Hi, Thomas. Thanks for having me.
Oliver, how is economic growth as well as rising incomes and wealth in Asia changing the healthcare market?
First of all, we need to be aware that in Asia there are living 60% of the world's population. And it's estimated that around 3 billion people will be in middle class by 2030. So the habits are changing. The demand for leisure products, consumer products, as well as for healthcare products will change. So there's more and more demand for healthcare services and products, and there's more and more demand for quality healthcare services and products. And on parallel, healthcare systems are being established. There is introduction of governmental and private healthcare insurance schemes. So these people want to go there and really use these products and services more and more. So there's a big change towards that.
China is an important healthcare market. So what particular challenges and opportunities do you currently face in China?
Well, as we all know and we are aware of, that there are many challenges with China. We have, first of all, of course, the geopolitical situation, the Taiwan question, the US-China situation. Some people are talking about the second Cold War coming or already being established. We have domestic policy issues. We had crackdowns in education, in real estate, in technology sectors. There was a big question if there's a crackdown in healthcare sector as well. We have the real estate crisis, of course, at the moment, which is being discussed. And within healthcare, we had the anti-corruption situation. Well, we had that since almost 10 years, but there's new waves coming of that. But they want to introduce a new and modern healthcare system. So new regulation is maybe short-term very brutal for the healthcare companies, but mid to long-term very positive because it's a modernization and upgrade of the system. And that's very positive for all these companies. So there's a big market in China, $600 billion, but only 5.5% of GDP. And this will double this number. And with 500 million people being over 60 years old. So a huge market. And I'm 100% sure that healthcare is the most important tool for the Communist Party to please people. So they want to be treated well with very good products and services. So a huge growing market in China.
Your portfolio has a large allocation to Japan. So what are the special opportunities for investors in the Japanese healthcare sector?
So Japan is a different case. Of course, Japan is a highly technologicalized country, a very technology-driven healthcare segment as well. And in Japan, you find global companies, global established, vertically integrated pharma companies with leading technologies, as well global medical technology companies with leading technologies all over the place. So they lead, for instance, in antibody technologies, the pharma companies. They are at the forefront of treating Alzheimer's, first time in history, Japanese companies, in cancer as well. And they have new technology in obesity treatment. We all know from Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, but so much of the technologies are coming from Japan. So it's a totally different story, high-end technologies, global approach, and leading in different segments.
Besides a growing middle class, aging societies are a long-term trend in Japan and China, among others. So which of your investments focus on demographic change?
Aging, of course, is the driver for the healthcare sector, especially in Asia as well. We have the demographic laboratory in Japan. You have to imagine we have over 100,000 over 100 years old people in Japan right now. We have Korea, which aged super fast in the last 40 years, 25 years of increase of life expectancy. And we have China now, currently aging very fast. So aging is a big topic. 1 billion people will be over 60 years old in Asia in 2050. So almost all of our investments are benefiting from aging, I would say. So more chronic diseases, more neurological diseases like Alzheimer's, more cancer. And we have investments in all these segments. Is it in hospitals? Is it in medical technology companies? Is it drug companies? So it's actually all over the place. These companies are benefiting from this structural trend.
Where is innovation currently taking place in the healthcare sector that you're investing in or keeping an eye on for your portfolio?
First and foremost, as I already told you, it's Japan in almost all the segments. It's as well in Australia. We find a pretty vibrant biotech scene, for instance. We have very interesting digital health companies in Australia, some of them as well in New Zealand. But China's catching up very fast. Some very good antibody platforms, cell therapies coming from China, very interesting. It's a global approach we could not imagine 10 years ago, actually. We have some interesting companies as well in Korea. And then we have like the economic innovation from India, generics. So Indian companies are delivering almost 50% of the volume of the US generic market. So absolutely crucial for supply of US generics.
The health sector is also characterized by a lot of regulation. So to what extent do such considerations play a role in managing your portfolio?
I would say healthcare is probably the most regulated industry in the world, has always been, will always be. It's very politically driven, of course. It's governmental schemes, it's healthcare insurances, which play a role. So it's definitely one of the most important topics we need to consider when we invest in a country, in a company, in a subsector. Best example is China. So China changed dramatically 10, 15 years ago. They started to introduce dramatic regulatory changes, very brutal for some segments, but mid to long term, very positive because it's modernizing the whole system. It's better quality, better access, better affordability for the patients.
What are the biggest challenges for an investor like Bellevue that is involved in the Asian healthcare sector currently?
We don't have any challenge in access to companies. We have built over the last 20, 25 years a very good relationship, very good network in Asia, especially in the digital world. We are able to meet any company we would like within a few days. Biggest challenge is more really politics, I would say. So geopolitics, there's so many unknowns. We cannot evaluate in a financial model. Sometimes the companies do not know what's going on. If we talk to them, that's probably the biggest challenge to evaluate. One challenge as well in this very special environment we have currently is monetary policy. I give you one example. The divergence between the US and the Japanese monetary policy devaluated the Japanese yen by 30% within 2 years. And that's pretty dramatic. That is quite a pressure on our companies as well within our portfolio.
Thematic funds are generally considered high risk. So how do you manage risk in your Asia Pacific healthcare fund, given the multitude of influencing factors?
We have built, since 2006, when we started with this strategy, we call it the barbell strategy, where we invest around half of the portfolio in developed countries within Asia. So Japan, Australia, mostly. Japan, the building block, of course. And the other half in emerging markets within Asia. China, the building block. India, very important. Some investments in Thailand, sometimes some investments in Indonesia as well. So this gives a very good balance between countries, diversification, countries, currencies, technology cycles as well. So we made a very good experience over the last couple of years. On a single stock level, high conviction names in the mid-cap space, 2 to 3%. In a large cap space, 5% plus. So, and we should not forget that the correlation between these countries of the healthcare segments is very low. We are talking about of almost no correlation to 0.2, 0.3 correlation. So that gives a good diversification within that fund.
So this was Oliver Kubli, Portfolio Manager at Bellevue Asset Management. Oliver, thank you very much for this great interview today and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you very much, Thomas.